Welcome, friends, to a sanctuary of serenity amidst the chaos of our daily lives. Picture this. You wake up to an alarm clock that sounds more like a battle cry than a gentle nudge. You stumble into the kitchen, only to discover that your coffee pot has decided to start a rebellion. No coffee for you today. And just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, you step outside to find your car holding a sign that reads, "Out of service." Ah, the joys of modern life, right? But what if I told you there's a way to navigate this storm with a smile? Yes, today we're diving deep into the ancient philosophy of Stoicism, a guide that has been bringing peace into people's lives for centuries. Stoicism isn't about suppressing your coffee cravings or fixing rebellious cars. It's about finding calm within, no matter the external pandemonium. Now, if you're as excited as I am to unearth these timeless strategies for tranquility, do me a favor. Go ahead and like this video. Smash that button like it's the snooze on your alarm clock. Don't forget to subscribe for more life-changing content, and ring that notification bell to join our growing family of modern-day Stoics. Let's embark on this journey together and transform chaos into harmony. Ready? Let's turn the page and reveal the Stoic secrets to inner peace. Stay tuned. Behind the philosophy. What does this age-old approach tell us about dealing with life's inevitable ups and downs? Stoicism, my friends, isn't a dusty relic from the past but a living, breathing philosophy that's just as relevant today as it was back in ancient Greece and Rome. Picture the Stoics, not as stern figures in togas with furrowed brows, but as the original life hackers, armed with mental tools that are shockingly applicable in our 21st century hustle. So where did this all start? Believe it or not, Stoicism was born in a bustling marketplace in Athens, around 300 BC. Zeno of Citium, its founder, didn't have a flashy TED Talk or a best-selling self-help book. Instead, he had something better, profound ideas that he shared from his porch, known as the Stoic, which is where Stoicism got its name. These ideas caught on because they addressed the nuts and bolts of human happiness, something that, let's be honest, we're all still trying to figure out. Fast forward to today, and it's clear that the core principles of Stoicism, virtue, wisdom, and the art of living in accordance with nature, are not just ancient Greek buzzwords, they're practical solutions to the chaos of modern times. Think of Stoicism as the ultimate form of psychological resilience, teaching us how to remain unfazed by the traffic jams of life, not by pretending they don't bother us, but by choosing our responses with clarity and composure. So, as we sift through the Stoic wisdom, we're not just rummaging through history, we're unlocking a treasure trove of strategies that equip us to handle everything from minor inconveniences to major setbacks. Keep watching, because what we're about to explore could be the game changer in converting your daily turmoil into tranquility. And believe me, you don't want to miss it. The Stoic mindset. Think of it as the superhero's secret code for conquering the chaos of Gotham, while flying fearlessly through Metropolis. Now, I know what you're thinking. How can ancient Greek philosophy unlock my inner superhero? Well, strap on your capes, because we're about to find out how Stoicism can be your superpower in the quest for peace. First up is the principle of virtue. In the Stoic Hall of Fame, virtue is the superhero's moral compass, always pointing to good, like Batman's unwavering quest for justice. Stoicism teaches that, in life, it's not our external circumstances that define us, but our internal choices. Virtue is about choosing to do the right thing, even when it's harder than lifting a truck barehanded. Next, we have wisdom. Picture wisdom as Professor X's telepathy. It's about seeing beyond the illusions and understanding the true nature of things. Stoics believe wisdom is about recognizing what's in our control and what's not, and applying that knowledge to navigate life's tricky labyrinth with Yoda-like finesse. Lastly, the art of living in accordance with nature. This isn't about going full Hulk and smashing your way through life. It's about going with the flow like Aquaman rides the tides. Living in accordance with nature means accepting the natural course of events, fighting the battles you can win, and retreating from the ones you can't, being as adaptable as Mystique without losing sight of who you are. So, there you have it, folks. The Stoic code, virtue, wisdom, and harmony with nature, all wrapped up in a superhero cape. These aren't just dusty old ideas. They're the tools that empower you to face life's adversities with the confidence of the Avengers. As we delve deeper into the Stoic strategies, imagine yourself as the protagonist in your own epic tale, using these principles to navigate the complex narrative of your life. And remember, like any good superhero story, the journey is as important as the destination. Keep watching as we continue to unfold the secrets of the Stoic mindset and how you can apply them to emerge victorious in your daily battles. Stay tuned, my fellow peace-seeking heroes, for the next chapter in our adventure, where chaos meets calm in the ultimate showdown. The obstacle is the way. Isn't that a curious notion? It's like saying the treasure is hidden, not despite the dragons and dungeons, but because of them. Let me tell you about a time when my own life seemed scripted by some cosmic prankster, intent on turning my every plan upside down. So there I was, all set for a peaceful weekend getaway in the mountains. Nature, tranquility, and no cell service. Just what the philosopher ordered, right? But as fate would have it, my trusty car, let's call her Betsy, had other ideas. Halfway up the mountain, Betsy decided she'd had enough of civilization and promptly broke down, leaving me stranded miles from anywhere. Now, the ancient Stoics would say, what an opportunity. And after my initial, let's call it, expressive reaction, I chose to see it that way too. I mean, the whole point was to escape modern life's hustle and bustle, wasn't it? And here I was, getting exactly what I asked for, just not packaged quite how I expected. So instead of a cozy cabin with all the mod cons, I had a star-filled sky and a silent mountain road. I hiked up, found a spot that looked like it was used by real hikers, and experienced nature in its rawest form. It was unplanned, unfiltered, and downright unforgettable. Reflecting on that night, it struck me, this was the Stoic practice in action. The obstacle, Betsy's roadside mutiny, had become the way to a richer experience than I could have planned. I had turned an apparent disaster into a triumph of peace and stillness. This, my friends, is what Stoicism teaches us. The very obstacles we encounter in life are often the path to growth and fulfillment. It's not about avoiding difficulties. It's about transforming them into steps that lead us where we want to go. Imagine you're in the middle of preparing a big dinner and suddenly the power goes out. Sure, it's inconvenient, but hey, impromptu candlelit dinner, anyone? So next time life throws you a curveball, take a moment. Take a breath. Then, look that obstacle square in the eye and say, bring it on. Because, as we'll continue to see, when you embrace the chaos, when you find a way through the obstacle, that's when the magic happens. Stick around as we unpack more of these transformative Stoic strategies, because we're just getting warmed up. Embrace reality. It's not about surrendering to fate with a sigh, but about greeting life's curveballs with the calm confidence of a seasoned batter. Let's play with this idea for a moment. Picture yourself planning an elaborate outdoor birthday bash. The cake is sculpted, the balloons dance in the wind, and just as the guests start to arrive, so do the storm clouds. Now, you could rant at the sky, shake your fist at the raindrops, but let's be honest, that's about as effective as commanding a tidal wave to reverse. Here's where Stoicism steps onto the field. Accepting what we cannot change is about recognizing that sometimes the weather report is more of a weather gamble. Instead of letting the storm wash away your spirits, you pivot, you adapt, you lead your guests inside, and suddenly, what was destined to be a picnic turns into a cozy, laughter-filled gathering around your living room. The rain patters against the windows, a free symphony, enhancing the joyous chorus inside. Embracing reality is about acknowledging that while we can't control the weather, traffic, or the occasional coffee pot rebellion, we can control our reactions. It's about looking at a messed up paint job and seeing a modern art masterpiece. It's about hearing a date say, it's not you, it's me, and thinking, great, I've got more time for my bonsai collection. It's about recognizing that every moment, good, bad, or indifferent, is part of the vibrant mosaic of our lives. When you start viewing the world through this Stoic lens, every setback becomes a setup for a new adventure, every misstep a new dance move. You learn to ride the waves of uncertainty with the grace of a surfer and the joy of a child chasing seagulls on the shore. And just like that, dear viewers, the trick isn't about avoiding the storms but learning to dance in the rain. Metaphorically speaking, of course. So the next time you're faced with a crossroads, a challenge, or a flat-out, no way, this is happening scenario, take a page out of the Stoic playbook, accept it, adapt to it, and find the hidden opportunity it presents. This doesn't mean giving up on your dreams. It means carving a path forward with the tools life hands you, even if that tool is a soggy slice of birthday cake. As we continue to weave through the rich tapestry of Stoic principles, remember to carry this one closely. Embrace reality, not with resignation but with the creativity and gusto of a master improv artist. And who knows, the stories you'll tell about turning chaos into comedy may just become the legendary tales of tomorrow. Keep watching, because in the next segment, we're diving even deeper into the Stoic secrets to inner peace. Your ticket to tranquility is just around the corner, so stay tuned and let's keep turning those obstacles into opportunities. Love fate, or in the words of the Stoics, amor fati, a phrase that translates to love of fate. Now I can hear you asking, how can I possibly love fate when it often seems like fate doesn't love me back? Well, let me share with you a story that might just change your mind. Imagine you've been preparing for months for a marathon. You've woken up at the crack of dawn, pounded the pavement, and turned down more than a few delicious donuts to stay in top shape. Finally, the big day arrives. You're at the starting line, the adrenaline is pumping, and then you sprain your ankle. Just like that, months of preparation seem wasted. But here's where amor fati comes in. Instead of allowing bitterness to set in, you decide to love this twist of fate. You volunteer at the event, cheering on runners, handing out water, and absorbing the infectious energy of the day. And in doing so, you discover a passion for helping others achieve their goals, a joy in giving support that you had never explored before. Your setback becomes the seed for a new way of contributing to something you love, showing that sometimes the best laid plans can lead to even greater rewards when they go awry. Loving fate is about more than just making lemonade when life hands you lemons. It's about genuinely appreciating the lemons for the zest they bring to your life. It's about getting rear-ended in traffic and meeting the love of your life in the insurance office. It's about missing a flight only to stumble upon a hidden jazz club in the city and having the night of your life. The Stoics weren't just preaching about a fair weather philosophy. They understood that life is a complex mix of joy, sorrow, celebration, and challenges. Amor fati is an invitation to fall in love with the whole spectrum, knowing that each experience, whether we label it good or bad, adds depth and richness to our existence. It's about embracing every chapter in the story of your life with enthusiasm and curiosity. So, as we journey through our Stoic guide to bringing more peace into our lives, let's recall the notion of amor fatis and strive to apply it to our daily encounters. Got stuck in an elevator? That's just an unplanned opportunity for a little me time or a chance to make a new friend. Did the cat knock over your favorite vase? Now you have a fun dye project and an anecdote that'll surely get some laughs. Together, let's cultivate a mindset that not only withstands the unpredictable nature of life, but also celebrates it. By loving our fate, we open ourselves to a world of possibilities and undiscovered joys that await just beyond the horizon of our expectations. Embrace amor fatis and watch as the mosaic of your life becomes even more beautiful and intricate, one unexpected piece at a time. Stay with me, friends, as we continue to navigate the tranquil waters of Stoicism. Up next, we'll unravel more pearls of wisdom to help you steer your ship with poise and grace. No matter the weather, focus on the present. Isn't this what every time traveling hero wishes they had done? Think of Marty McFly in Back to the Future, racing against time to fix a future that went awry because of past mistakes. Or Dr. Strange, sifting through millions of possible outcomes, searching for the one where the present moment is savored and the world is saved. The allure of the past and the future is strong, but Stoicism teaches us to anchor ourselves in the here and now, just like our favorite heroes at their peak moments. Living in the now is like being Tony Stark in his workshop, fully absorbed, tinkering with the pieces of the present to build a better Iron Man suit. He doesn't lament over the scrap metal of past failures or daydream about future accolades. No, Tony Stark is in the zone, wholly immersed in the act of creation. This is the Stoic art of attention, where the present moment becomes the arena of life's most significant battles and victories. Stoicism calls us to be like Luke Skywalker, turning off the targeting computer and trusting the Force, his intuition, at that crucial moment. It's not about ignoring the past or future, but recognizing that the only real power we have is in the present. Like Luke, we must channel our focus on what we can do right here, right now, without the distractions of what-ifs and if-onlys. The Stoics remind us that life, much like the stream of the time-stone's power, is always in motion, ungraspable, and ever changing. We can't edit the scenes of our past any more than we can script the future in detail. However, this very moment is like a frame in a film reel that we can influence and inhabit with our full presence. So why do Stoics emphasize this cinematic embrace of the present? Because this is where life is lived, where decisions are made, where joy is felt. It's about finding the magic in the mundane, the extraordinary in the ordinary. It's about being like Peter Parker, feeling the sun on his face as he swings through the city, fully tuned into the exhilaration of now, rather than worrying about the next villain or his next homework assignment. Living in the now also means that when life feels like a box of paradoxical Pandoras, we don't waste time wishing for a rewind button. Instead, we open it, deal with what comes out, and move forward. When we're stuck in traffic and late for an appointment, instead of stewing in frustration, we can turn up the radio and enjoy a private car concert, transforming gridlock into an unexpectedly delightful interlude. So how do we harness this superpower of living in the present? Start by tuning into your senses. Listen to the symphony of city life. Savor the taste of your morning coffee. Feel the texture of the pen in your hand. By engaging fully with the now, you become the superhero of your own story, vigilant, responsive, and ready for whatever twists the plot may hold. Remember, friends, focusing on the present doesn't mean you lose sight of your origin story or your ultimate mission. It means that every step of your journey is lived with intention and awareness, giving life to the fullest in every breath, just like our Stoic superheroes at their most heroic moments. Join me as we continue to delve into the tranquil yet powerful world of Stoicism. Together we will explore more invaluable practices that make us masters of our own universe, one moment at a time. Keep watching, because just like our valiant defenders of the galaxy, we have the potential to turn every instance into an epic adventure. Stay present, stay tuned, and let's make every moment count. Know what you control. It's akin to being a master chess player in a game against fate. You're presented with an array of pieces, each with its own potential and limitations. Some moves are yours to choose, others are dictated by the opponent's play. The wisdom lies not in commanding every piece with absolute power, but in knowing which pieces you can maneuver with precision and intent. Picture yourself at the intersection of life's myriad roads, each path branching off into the unknown. Some of these routes come with traffic lights and signs, obliging you to stop, go, or yield. These are the uncontrollable aspects of life. The weather, the passage of time, the economic market. These are like the movements of an opponent's queen, bold and inevitably impactful, yet beyond your command. On the flip side, think about the paths with open lanes, ripe for exploration at your pace and discretion. Your thoughts, your actions, your responses. These are the controllables, akin to the chess pieces within your grasp, awaiting your strategic play. These are your pawns and knights, ready to be led across the board with thoughtful intention. So let's engage in a little interactive exercise. I'll mention a scenario and you decide whether it's within your control or not. Feel free to jot down your answers or simply reflect on them. First scenario. You're sitting in a cafe, and the person at the next table is talking loudly on their phone. Is their volume under your control, or is it your reaction to the noise that you can manage? Second scenario. You're planning a surprise party for a friend, but on the day of the event, they fall ill and cancel all plans. Can you control their health, or is it the adaptability of the celebration you can influence? Third scenario. You've been working on a project at work for weeks, but a colleague gets credit for your ideas in a meeting. Do you hold sway over their actions, or is it your choice to speak up and assert your contributions that's in your hands? As you ponder these situations, it becomes clear that while we can't dictate every turn of events, we possess the power to choose our responses. This understanding is a cornerstone of Stoicism, freeing us from the chains of frustration over the uncontrollable and empowering us to harness the potential of what we can influence. By focusing our energy on the areas we control, we become architects of our destiny rather than mere spectators. We shift from a reactive stance, buffeted by the winds of chance, to a proactive posture, steering our ship with resolve and mastery. To deepen this practice, I invite you to undertake a simple daily exercise. For 1 week, at the end of each day, write down one thing that was beyond your control and how you responded to it. Then, jot down one thing you had control over and what you did with that power. This reflective habit can sharpen your awareness of the controllables and uncontrollables, guiding you towards a more stoic approach to life's chessboard. As we continue to navigate these strategies, remember that while fate plays its game, you too have moves to make. Embrace the wisdom of knowing what you control, and watch as it transforms your life's narrative from a tale of uncertainty to one of deliberate action and inner peace. Join me on this continuing voyage through the Stoic philosophy. Together, we'll discover more transformative principles to cultivate a serene and steadfast spirit. Keep tuning in, because with each piece of knowledge gained, we carve a clearer path through the labyrinth of life. Stay focused, stay empowered, and let's take control of what we can. Starting now, practice mindfulness. Now that's a term that's as trendy as avocado on toast in a hipster cafe, but what does it look like with a Stoic twist? Imagine attending a Stoic meditation session, and instead of the usual focus on your breath mantra, the instructor says, contemplate the fickleness of fortune or the transience of turmoil. You might chuckle, but this is how Stoicism invites us to be mindful. So close your eyes, unless you're driving or operating heavy machinery, of course, and join me for a comical guided Stoic meditation. Picture yourself in a serene garden. The birds are singing, and you're sitting on a comfy, yet suitably ascetic stone bench. Inhale deeply through your nose, and as you exhale, imagine releasing all attachment to your Wi-Fi signal strength. Breathe in the calm, breathe out the frustration of untangling headphone cords. With each breath, consider the vastness of the cosmos, the countless stars, and then remind yourself that not even the universe is bothered by that typo in the email you sent yesterday. Feel your attachment to things outside your control, like the bus schedule or the stock market, fall away like leaves in autumn. As you sit there in the fortress of your mind, think of the last time you were in line at the supermarket. The person in front of you had an endless number of coupons, and it felt like time had come to a standstill. Now, imagine observing this scene from above, like a Stoic drone. Recognize the impulse to sigh and tap your foot, and instead, choose to marvel at the human penchant for savings. Find serenity in the stillness and use the opportunity to practice patience, because as a Stoic, you're above petty irritations. Literally. Next, in our mindfulness exercise, picture a day when everything seems to go wrong. You spill coffee on your white shirt, your computer decides to update during an urgent task, and you accidentally reply all to a company-wide email. In this moment of Stoic meditation, visualize these mishaps as a training ground for equanimity. Each slip-up is a chance to flex your inner peace muscles, turning calamities into calisthenics for the soul. Now, as you conclude this guided session, bring your awareness back to the present and open your eyes, feeling refreshed and unburdened by life's trivialities. You've just engaged in the Stoic practice of mindfulness, observing without judgment, accepting without distress, and chuckling at the absurdity of minor inconveniences. Remember, mindfulness is not exclusive to silent retreats or yoga studios. It can be practiced in the uproar of an urban jungle or the quiet of a suburban cul-de-sac. It's about observing the comedic narrative of your day-to-day life with a relaxed Stoic gaze, finding the humor and the humanity in all situations. So go forth, and the next time you find yourself amidst chaos, take a mindful step back, take a deep breath, and watch as the world becomes a stage for your newfound Stoic serenity. Stay with me, my mindful companions, as we continue on this journey through the wisdom of Stoicism. Up ahead, we'll unwrap more ancient secrets and modern hacks to turn every day into a masterpiece of tranquility and bemusement. Keep watching, stay mindful, and let's find joy in the journey, one Stoic chuckle at a time. Take the view from above, Let's launch into the cosmos for a moment, shall we? Imagine you're an astronaut, a Stoic spaceman or spacewoman, perched high above the Earth in the silence of the stars. You're not just out here to fix satellites or conduct experiments. You're here to gain perspective, the ultimate Stoic viewpoint. From this celestial vantage point, the world is a breathtaking orb, a swirl of blues, greens, and whites, a marble of life dangling in the vast expanse of space. Up here, the chaos of traffic, the buzz of smartphones, and the relentless tick-tock of the clock fade into cosmic insignificance. Borders dissolve, conflicts seem almost petty, and our shared humanity comes into sharp, vivid focus. As you float in the weightlessness of your spacecraft peeking through the porthole, consider the billions of narratives unfolding below. Each person with their joys and sorrows, their triumphs and tragedies, reduced to mere specks from this altitude. Reflect on the idea that, from up here, the triumphs of empires and the follies of fools are but twinkles in the grand tapestry of time. In this grandeur of space, Stoicism takes on a new dimension. The view from above is a mental exercise that grounds us in the reality of our insignificance in relation to the cosmos. It teaches us humility, for our greatest achievements and our deepest worries are, in the scope of the universe, temporary, almost trivialities. And yet, this realization shouldn't diminish our spirit, but rather fill us with a profound sense of unity and purpose. Think of the people you've argued with, the stresses that have gripped your heart in a vice of discomfort. Now, see them from this cosmic perspective. How do they measure up? The Stoic astronaut doesn't look away from the world's pain, but sees through the pettiness, the ego, the relentless pursuit of what doesn't truly matter. He or she understands the power of stepping back, of taking in the whole before getting lost in the parts. This is a call to reevaluate our priorities, to focus on what binds us, not what divides us. From this view above, our shared planet needs us to be guardians, not gladiators. We're reminded that cooperation is the lifeline of humanity, that kindness is a force more powerful than any rocket thrust. So, as you return to Earth, as you step back into the gravitational pull of everyday life, take this cosmic perspective with you. Let it be a beacon that guides your decisions, your interactions, your very conception of what it means to be alive in this extraordinary universe. Remember, my fellow Earthlings, as we marvel at the wonders of Stoicism, that the view from above is not just a physical ascent, but a mental one. It's an elevation of consciousness, a transcendence of the small self into a broader, more connected awareness. Join me as we continue our explorations through the vast realm of Stoicism. In our next segment, we'll anchor back to Earth, equipped with the insights from the stars, and ready to apply them to our terrestrial endeavors. Keep watching as we bring the wisdom of the cosmos down to the ground, transforming our individual experiences into a collective journey of enlightenment and peace. Stay tuned, for the sky is not the limit, it's just the beginning. Prepare for the worst. Now, let's venture together into the not so sunny side of the street, where the Stoics take us for a satirical worst-case scenario planning session, Stoic style. Imagine we're gathering in a room that's slightly too cold, with chairs that are just a touch uncomfortable, perfect for cultivating that ancient Stoic resilience, right? Here's the twist though. As we sit shivering, poised to sketch out our darkest fears, we do so with a smirk. Yes, you heard right. This exercise isn't a gloomy descent into despair, but a playful poke at the unpredictability of life. So what's the game plan when Lady Luck turns a cold shoulder, and the fates seem to conspire against us? The Stoics teach us to envision the worst with a wink. Picture the Stoic sage, a sly grin on their lips, musing, what if my trusted chariot, or, in today's lingo, my car, refuses to start on the morning of the most important meeting of my career? Rather than panicking, our sage whistles while summoning an Uber chariot. Or consider the classic scenario. You're about to deliver a speech, and you picture the audience in their undergarments to ease your nerves. A Stoic would take it to the next level, imagining themselves accidentally flashing their own underpants. But instead of fleeing in horror, they turn it into the opening joke, disarming the crowd and proving that even public humiliation can be a stepping stone to legendary oratory. Let's conduct our own mock disaster drill, shall we? Close your eyes and envision your smartphone taking a swan dive into the toilet. Now, as a true Stoic, do you lament the loss? No, you chuckle at the universe's reminder to disconnect and enjoy a tech-free day, or perhaps the comedy of fishing it out in a heroic tech rescue operation. This approach isn't about cultivating pessimism. It's about embracing the full spectrum of possibility with the calm assurance that even if the sky falls, we can handle it without losing our sense of humor, or our stoic cool. Preparing for the worst also means practicing detachment from material possessions and external validation. Imagine walking with a stoic sage through a gallery of your most prized possessions, only to watch each one crumble to dust. The sage would simply nod, reminding you that while these items may bring temporary pleasure, they're not the bedrock of your contentment. In our witty war room of worst-case scenarios, we gather not to wallow in worry but to arm ourselves with the confidence that comes from knowing we can weather any storm. It's about rehearsing resilience, so when life inevitably tosses a curveball, we can catch it with a grin and toss it right back. So, as we wrap up this cheeky chapter in our Stoic manual for living, remember that preparing for the worst doesn't mean expecting it. It means recognizing that if the worst arrives, we'll greet it with a knowing smile and the inner fortitude to say, "Is that all you've got?" Stay tuned, my fellow Stoic strategists, as we continue to build our mental fortresses and fine-tune our sense of cosmic comedy. Up next, we'll delve into more Stoic exercises that sharpen our ability to cut through life's tangles with the precision of a philosopher, warrior. Prepare for the twists and turns, but more importantly, prepare to enjoy the ride, because sometimes the detours are the highlights of the journey. Keep watching, and let's equip ourselves for anything and everything, with a dash of Stoic spice and a whole lot of heart. Reflect daily. My friends, pull out your quills, or more likely, your smartphones, because we're about to enter the soulful world of Stoic journaling. Picture Dear Stoic Diary Session, where you, the modern Marcus Aurelius, get candid with the pages of your very own meditations. But before we dive in, let's set the scene with a bit of tongue-in-cheek theatrics, shall we? Imagine you're sitting by candlelight. Okay, fine. It's the soft glow of a night mode screen, and you begin your entry. Dear Stoic Diary, you write, "Today I faced the Herculean task of untangling my charger cords, a true test of patience and fortitude." You jot down not just the challenge, but your valiant response, calm, collected, a veritable master of court chaos. This is the heart of Stoic journaling, a whimsical yet profound reflection on the day's events, the choices you made, and, more importantly, the choices you'll make tomorrow. It's a candid conversation with yourself, where you're both the confidant and the philosopher, imparting wisdom and witticisms in equal measure. Your diary becomes your silent partner in self-improvement, a parchment of progress where each entry is a stepping stone towards greater inner peace. But, you ask, what if I'm not the reflective type? Fear not, for Stoic journaling is as flexible as an Olympic gymnast. You can jot down bullet points, craft poetic verses, or even sketch your thoughts. Anything that captures the essence of your daily experiences and your Stoic responses. And while your diary might not be privy to the grand Stoic tradition of being read by future generations, it's a treasure trove for your personal development. It's where you celebrate the wins, ponder the lessons, and sometimes have a hearty laugh at the cosmic comedy that is life. Now let me guide you through a Dear Stoic Diary entry as though we were perched on the shoulders of Epictetus himself. Dear Stoic Diary, you compose. Today's traffic jam was a lesson in making peace with the uncontrollable. As cars honked and drivers fumed, I found serenity in a podcast about underwater basket weaving. Truly, an unexpected balm for the soul. Or perhaps, Dear Stoic Diary, the supermarket ran out of my favorite ice cream. But rather than succumb to despair, I discovered the joy of pistachio amor fati in every bite. Each daily reflection is a step toward a more stoic you. A you that greets adversity with a smirk and serenity as your trusty sidekick. It's not about documenting a saga of triumphs or a ledger of losses, but about capturing the essence of your Stoic journey, wrinkles and all. So, my diary disciples, as we conclude our session of Dear Stoic Diary, remember that the simple act of journaling is a potent tool in your Stoic arsenal. It's a whisper of wisdom in the silence of the night, a chronicle of your cosmic dance with fate. Stay tuned for our next installation of Stoic serenity, where we'll peel back another layer of this philosophical onion, finding more gems of tranquility along the way. Keep your diaries close, your minds open, and let's continue to write the epic tale of our Stoic quest, one reflective entry at a time. Cultivate indifference. 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 That Stoic superpower, akin to a duck's unruffled feathers in a downpour. Picture this. You're standing at the bus stop on a Monday morning. The air is crisp, your coffee is steamy, and you're blissfully unaware that the universe has scheduled a little plot twist. As you take a leisurely sip, the bus zooms by, indifferent to your need for punctuality. But instead of cursing the tire tracks, you chuckle. Why, you ask? Because you, my friend, have mastered the art of indifference. You see, while others might stew in their own vexation, you've cultivated the serene art of not giving a fig. You've realized that in the grand theater of life, a missed bus is but a comedic interlude, a chance for an impromptu stroll, or a few extra moments with that podcast you've grown fond of. Indifference in the Stoic sense doesn't mean not caring about anything. Rather, it's about selectively not caring about the trivialities that don't truly contribute to your well-being. It's about approaching life's little irritations with a sense of humor and a pinch of perspective. So, there you stand, at the proverbial crossroads of annoyance and tranquility, and you choose the latter. You take a deep breath, admire the sunrise, a daily spectacle that even the best bus service can't compete with, and you decide to walk. Along the way, you witness snapshots of life you witnessed from the bus window, the rhythmic dance of the street cleaner's broom, the secret symphony of the city waking up. This is the Stoics' way, turning indifference into an art form. It's not about being detached from life, it's about being attached to the right things. The missed bus isn't a missed opportunity but an open door to a new experience, a detour on the path to enlightenment, if you will. Now, let's raise the stakes in our skit of Stoicism. Say your bus not only whizzed past, but also splashed you with a puddle for dramatic effect. The Stoic in you smiles even wider because, hey, now you've got a story to tell, and perhaps the universe is hinting it's time for those snazzy rain boots you've been eyeing. As you sashay through the streets, drenched but undaunted, you embody the Stoic spirit of indifference. You recognize that while you can't control the bus schedule, the weather, or the trajectory of rogue puddles, you can control your reaction, and you choose mirthful indifference every time. So the next time life decides to test your Stoic resolve with a seemingly vexatious twist, remember the missed bus and the path it represents. Embrace the lesson of indifference with a smile, knowing that every minute annoyance is an opportunity to practice your philosophy, and maybe, just maybe, to enjoy a laugh at life's expense. Keep watching, dear viewers, as we continue to cultivate our Stoic garden, planting seeds of indifference among the flowers of fortitude and vines of virtue. Together, we'll navigate life's erratic bus routes with ease and a touch of playfulness. Stay tuned for more Stoic wisdom, more laughter, and more peace, as we learn to let go of the insignificant and embrace the journey. Missed buses and all, practice discomfort. And now, my fellow adventurers in the pursuit of peace, we arrive at a uniquely Stoic proposition, the Stoic challenge. You might be envisioning a grueling obstacle course or a barefoot pilgrimage across hot coals, but rest assured our challenge is delivered with a grin and the promise of growth, the Stoic way. Let's embark on a little exercise I like to call voluntary inconvenience. It starts with something small, something harmless that tickles the funny bone of life's grand play. How about this? Wear your shirt inside out for a day. You'll be amazed at how it shifts your perspective, how that slight discomfort paves the way for a plethora of interactions. Some curious stares, perhaps a chuckle or two, and even an icebreaker for that colleague you've never quite known how to approach. Next up in our Stoic challenge, I dare you to take a cold shower. Yes, you heard me, cold. Let the frigid embrace of H2 remind you of the times when hot water wasn't a mere flick of the wrist away. It's a reminder of our ancestors' resilience and a refreshing jolt to the system, prepping you for the day better than any caffeine shot could. Or consider this: forgo your bed for a night and sleep on the floor. Arm yourself with just a blanket and a pillow, and as you lie there, ponder the lives of those who don't have the luxury of a bed. Let it be a night of gratitude and solidarity, and who knows, You may just wake up with a newfound appreciation for the simplicities you otherwise take for granted. This Stoic challenge isn't about self-punishment, mind you. It's about stepping out of your comfort zone just enough to see the world from a different angle. Like wearing mismatched socks on purpose, it's a silent rebellion against the tyranny of the matching, a playful nod to the absurdity of societal expectations. Let's get whimsical with our discomfort, and in doing so, unlock the Stoic virtues of resilience and resourcefulness. Skip the elevator and take the stairs, even if it's all the way to the 10th floor. You'll feel like Rocky at the top, minus the boxing gloves hopefully, or try fasting from social media for 24 hours. A modern-day Herculean task, I know, but imagine the peace you'll find in the silence of notifications. Remember, the Stoic challenge is as much about the inner journey as the outer. It's a playful poke at our daily routines and the comforts we cling to. So mix it up, shake the norms, and embrace the peculiar, and most importantly, do it with a light heart and the willingness to laugh at the hiccups along the way. So, there you have it, dear Stoics. In training, as you go about your day, weaving through the familiar fabric of life, throw in a stitch of discomfort here and there. You might just find that these odd patches are what make the tapestry of life vibrant and rich. Stay tuned as we continue this delightful dance with Stoicism, wrapping ourselves in the warm cloak of humor and the sturdy armor of philosophy. Up next, we'll delve into another facet of this ancient wisdom that stands the test of time, ready to be tailored to your 21st century needs. Keep watching, challenge yourself, and let's transform discomfort into the ultimate comfort of self-discovery and boundless joy. Speak less, do more. In the words of our Stoic mentors, actions echo in eternity, while words often vanish into the void. Let's put this into practice, shall we? Imagine a theatrical performance, the stage of life, if you will, where not a word is uttered, yet the message resounds loud and clear. Think of the last time you saw someone struggling with their grocery bags. Did you stop to offer help, or did you contemplate the merits of assistance in your head? The Stoic doesn't just ponder. The Stoic doesn't just ponder. The Stoic acts. Like a pantomime in the park, the action itself speaks volumes, reaching out to lift the burden. No words necessary. Now, visualize a scenario where your colleague looks overwhelmed, drowning in a sea of paperwork. Instead of offering platitudes, step up, roll up your sleeves, and wade into the paper tides with them. This is the essence of speak less, do more, becoming the silent hero whose deeds become the stories of legend. This isn't to say words don't have their place. They are the brushstrokes of human connection. But when paired with action, they become a masterpiece. The Stoic philosophy nudges us toward this symphony of deeds, where each act of kindness, each gesture of solidarity, each moment of selflessness becomes a note in the grand opus of our lives. Let's play with this concept in the context of self-improvement. Many are quick to voice their aspirations, declaring the start of a new diet, a new exercise regimen, a commitment to meditation. Yet without the silent follow-through, these declarations are as fleeting as a whisper in a thunderstorm. So, my audience of aspiring Stoics, I invite you to join me in a silent but significant challenge. For one day, choose an area you wish to improve upon, and do so without proclamation. If you aim to be more organized, let your tidy desk speak for you. If you desire to be fitter, let the quiet rhythm of your running shoes on the pavement be your announcement. Let your announcements, not your announcements, narrate the story of your progress. To take this a step further, let's incorporate this Stoic practice into our interactions. If someone speaks ill of you, respond not with defensive words, but with dignified composure and unwavering integrity. Let your reputation be built not on the flimsy foundation of retorts, but on the solid ground of consistent, honorable behavior. In this grand performance where actions take center stage, and words are but the accompanying soundtrack, we find that the loudest statement is often the one made in silence. The Stoic art of speak less, do more, is a reminder that in the quietude of action lies the loudest echo of our character. So, as we draw the curtains on this scene, remember the power of a gesture, the influence of a helping hand, the impact of a silent commitment to change. Embrace this Stoic principle and watch as your life transforms into a narrative of meaningful action and resonant accomplishments. Continue with us on this journey through Stoic philosophy. Our next scene will bring more insights into leading a life rich with purpose and peaceful resolve. Keep watching, act with intention, and let your silent deeds become the roar that changes the world. Break the attachment. And now, dear seekers of serenity, we venture into an amusing yet enlightening segment of our Stoic Odyssey, the Stoic Odyssey. The Stoic Game Show. Imagine the studio lights dimming as we prepare to play the most thought-provoking game you've never seen on television. Welcome to Break the Attachment, the show where contestants face the ultimate Stoic test. Relinquishing their cherished attachments, live on air for the chance to win unparalleled peace of mind. With the audience in eager anticipation, our contestants are presented with a parade of their possessions, relationships, and desires. One by one, they step up to the challenge, ready to demonstrate the strength of their Stoic resolve. The rules are simple. With each round, they're gently prompted to release their grip on something they hold dear, all in good humor, and with a grand prize of tranquility at stake. The first contestant, gripping a smartphone like a lifeline, faces the wheel of indifference. With a spin and a smile, the phone is locked away, leaving our participant untethered from the digital umbilical cord for the first time in years. As the clock ticks down, they find themselves engaging with the world around them, making eye contact and rediscovering the art of conversation. Who knew the absence of a gadget could open the gateway to genuine connection? Next, we meet the fashion aficionado, her identity intertwined with a wardrobe that rivals a boutique. A roll of the dice, and she must don the same simple outfit for a week. Laughter ensues as she struts onto the stage, day after day, in her new uniform. A testament to the Stoic belief that contentment isn't woven from fabric, but sewn from inner simplicity. As the game progresses, the challenges grow ever more poignant. A bookworm relinquishes their stack of unread novels, finding liberation in the act of letting go. A collector parts with a treasured trinket, realizing the memories it evokes are etched in the mind, not in the object itself. And for the grand finale, a twist that leaves our audience in suspense. Contestants must pen a heartfelt letter to a loved one, expressing all that often goes unsaid. But in a playful Stoic turn, they must then place the letter in a bottle, releasing it to the currents of fate. The act of writing their feelings becomes an exercise in vulnerability, while the release symbolizes the transient nature of life's connections. With each round of break, the attachment, our contestants, and indeed our viewers at home, discover the freedom that comes from loosening the chains of attachment. Laughter echoes through the studio as possessions, habits, and expectations are cast into the crucible of Stoic temperance, burning away the superfluous to reveal the essence of true joy. So what's the takeaway from our whimsical game show? It's that in the grand game of life, the prize isn't in acquiring more, but in yearning less. It's in finding humor and wisdom in the release, understanding that it's not the things we hold, but how lightly we hold them that defines our peace. As we bring down the curtain on Break the Attachment, let's carry forward the lessons from this playful parody. Remember that beyond the studio lights and the fictional game board, the Stoic challenge of breaking attachments is a daily endeavor. One that can fill our lives with laughter, lightness, and profound tranquility. Stay with us, kindred spirits, for the next installment in our Stoic saga, where we'll peel back another layer of the ancient yet ever-relevant philosophy that guides us towards a life of harmony and happiness. Keep watching, pursue detachment, and let's journey together toward an ever greater mastery over the art of living well. Rehearse poverty. Now gather around, my fellow Stoics, for it's story time with a twist. Today, we're talking about the Stoic exercise of rehearsing poverty. And before you jump to any hasty conclusions, let me assure you, it's not about making a spectacle of genuine hardship, but rather a playful immersion into simplicity. Picture this as the simple life directed by a Stoic philosopher, with yours truly starring in the lead role. So there I was, deciding to take a crack at this ancient practice. I swapped my bed for the living room rug, my meals simplified to rice and beans, and my attire boiled down to the most basic of basics. And let me tell you, the ensuing comedy was better than any reality TV show. I began my day with a challenge that would make any barista weep. No morning coffee. The withdrawal was more dramatic than a telenovela's plot twist. There I stood, staring at my dormant coffee machine, giving it the kind of longing look usually reserved for long-lost lovers in soap operas. Oh, the melodrama. As the day unfolded, I found myself performing tasks that I would normally delegate to my various gadgets and gizmos. And washing clothes turned into a workout session that no gym could replicate. By the end of it, I felt like I had swum across a channel, the English Channel of laundry, that is. Now here's the kicker. Dinner by candlelight sounds romantic until it's not just ambience, but necessity. There I was, chopping vegetables like a pioneer, the candle flickering as if setting the mood for my impending rendezvous with simplicity. The rice and beans. Let's just say I'll never look at a burrito the same way again. And as for entertainment, without my trusty screens, I turned to the oldest pastime in the book, storytelling. I spent the evening recounting tales to my bemused houseplants, who seemed to appreciate the plot twists almost as much as nitrogen. So why am I sharing this comical tale of self-imposed austerity? Because, my friends, rehearsing poverty is not just about frugality. It's about discovering joy in the lack of abundance. It's about realizing that our daily luxuries aren't prerequisites for happiness, but rather delightful extras that we've grown accustomed to. And here's the Stoic twist. By voluntarily experiencing simplicity, even for a short while, we strengthen our resilience and our appreciation for what we have. We realize that if our fortunes were to change, we could adapt and still find contentment. So, I encourage you, yes, you watching this video, to give rehearsing poverty a try. For a day, live as simply as you can. Have fun with it. Make it a game. Find out what happens when you trade your pillow for a book, your car for your legs, or your gourmet snack for a plain old apple. You might find that the most hilarious stories come from these times of simplicity, and that there's a peculiar freedom in knowing you can enjoy life with much less. And who knows, through this playful practice, you might just stumble upon some profound revelations about what really matters to you. So join me in this Stoic escapade, and let's see who can come up with the funniest poverty rehearsal story. Drop your experiences in the comments below. I can't wait to read about your adventures in simplicity. Keep watching, my intrepid explorers of life, and let's continue to laugh and learn together. Stay tuned for more stories and Stoic strategies that promise to add spice to our collective journey towards inner peace and simplicity. Embrace community. Picture this. You scroll through your social feed and there it is, another influencer. Selfie. This one captioned squad goals. But what if I told you that for a Stoic, the real squad goals look a little different? Today, we're parodying our dear social media influencers to explore the Stoic sense of community. And trust me, it's going to be enlightening. So, here's Stoic Influencer 101. First, forget the flashy parties and the exclusive clubs. The Stoic Influencer invites you to the party of the cosmos, where everyone's on the guest list. That's right, Stoicism teaches us that we're all citizens of the same vast universe. No VIP section required. Your followers, they're not just numbers on a screen, they're fellow travelers on life's journey. Next up, let's talk about brand collaborations. In the Stoic world, the best collab you can score isn't with the hottest brand, but with virtue itself. Imagine that, partnering up with kindness, justice, courage, and wisdom. Now that's a sponsorship deal worth boasting about. And the best part, you don't need 1 million followers to snag this gig. Virtue is looking to collaborate with anyone and everyone 24/7. Now, I bet you've seen those influencer mansions where the rich and famous gather to create content. Well, in our Stoic parody, the mansion is actually a metaphor for the community as a whole. It's an open space villa where ideals are shared freely and everyone chips in. Need a cup of sugar or perhaps some sage advice? Just knock on any door in the Stoic neighborhood. Generosity is the currency of choice here. And don't forget about all those influencer catchphrases like live your best life or be your true self. The Stoic twist, live a virtuous life and be your truest self for the benefit of all. Instead of promoting self-centered lifestyles, the Stoic influencer champions a life of service and support for the collective. After all, what's the point of glowing up if it doesn't illuminate the way for others? So lean in for that selfie, but this time, turn the camera around, capture the community, the shared moments, the group efforts to make the neighborhood, the city, the world, a better place. And Stoic Squad Goals is about the collective, the harmony, and the common good. Remember, It's not about the likes count, but about the impact count. In closing, if Stoicism had a social media challenge, it would be the social media challenge. It would be the tag your friends, your family, your colleagues, and even strangers. Spread the vibe of cooperation, understanding, and a sense of global community. Embrace the Stoic way where every act of kindness, every word of support, and every moment of connection adds to the infinite story of humanity. So, to all my community-minded viewers out there, let's make the Stoic choice to uplift, unite, and co-create a world where community is not just an ideal, but a reality we build together, one virtuous post at a time. Keep tuning in as we continue to share the laughter, the learning, and the togetherness that comes with being a part of this grand, interconnected universe. Embrace community, and let's keep this cosmic party going strong. Exercise perseverance. And now, folks, we lunge into the gymnasium of life where we're about to get a hefty dose of Stoic strength training. Get ready for the Stoic workout, a regimen so intense it makes a Spartan's daily routine look like morning yoga. But fear not, our approach to perseverance will leave your sides splitting with laughter as your willpower muscles bulge with Stoic fortitude. To start, we tackle the morning alarm gauntlet. Picture this. You've strategically placed your alarm clock across the room, just beyond the reach of your sleepy fingertips. When it blares at the crack of dawn, you have no choice but to leap out of bed with the agility of a caffeinated kangaroo. This first trial sets the tone, for each subsequent snooze tap becomes an extra set of Stoic push-ups. Intentions to sleep in are quickly replaced with the burning drive to start the day with victorious enthusiasm, or at least with a good-natured grumble. Next up, the public transport marathon. Here, we practice the art of standing on a crowded bus or train while letting every single person take a seat before us. It's not just a selfless act, it's an epic test of balance, patience, and the sheer will to stay upright as your chariot jostles and sways. Imagine yourself an anchored colossus amidst the sea of commuters, unflinching as the vehicle lurches. It's a Herculean feat that would make even Atlas nod in respect. Now, brace yourselves for the email inbox pilgrimage, where every spam message becomes a hurdle to leap over, and every unnecessary reply, all, is a chance to practice deep, Stoic breathing. With each scroll, you're metaphorically climbing the mountain of digital correspondence, each step an exercise in electronic endurance. You'll emerge from the inbox trenches with the mental toughness of a philosopher, warrior, skilled in the ancient art of not letting urgent flags raise your pulse. But wait, there's more. Prepare for the grocery store gauntlet, where you navigate the aisles armed only with a shopping basket. No cart allowed. Each item becomes a heavier weight to lift, and the journey to the checkout is your personal odyssey. Hercules had his 12 labors. You have the weekly food shop. By the time you reach the cashier, your forearms are mightier than ever, and your capacity to persevere under the weight of dairy and produce is legendary. Finally, we climax with the ultimate test of Stoic endurance, the technology fast. This is no ordinary feat. It's a digital detox where you willingly abstain from all screens, embracing the world beyond pixels. Like an athlete in peak condition, you rediscover the ancient arts of map reading, face-to-face conversation, and the serene joy of watching a sunset unfiltered by a camera lens. It's a challenge that redefines your very essence, proving that you are the master of your tech, not its obedient servant. So, my fellow disciples of discipline, as you towel off from this Stoic workout, remember that the path to perseverance is paved with playful trials. It's about embracing the lighter side of life's struggles, laughing in the face of discomfort, and finding strength in the silliest of situations. Keep tuning in for more Stoic hilarity and wisdom, because as we've just experienced, sometimes the best way to build endurance is to chuckle our way through life's most arduous tasks. Stay strong, stay stoic, and most importantly, stay smirking. Practice gratitude. Our story unfolds with Grumpy Gary, notorious in his neighborhood for his furrowed brow and the permanent scowl etched upon his face. It seemed that nothing could please Gary. The sun was too bright, the coffee too bitter, and the news too depressing. But one fateful morning, Gary stumbled upon a dusty old book at the corner of his cluttered attic, a tome of Stoic philosophy. Cranking open the ancient pages, He snorted in disdain at the notion that he could find anything of value within its lessons. Yet, as the day crept on, the words began to take root in his mind, whispering of gratitude, not for what one has in abundance, but for the mere experience of being alive. Imagine Gary's surprise when he found himself pausing at the window, peering out at the drizzling rain that he would usually curse. As droplets patterned the glass, a strange thought nudged him. What if, instead of bemoaning the weather, he appreciated the water's nourishment to the earth, the way it cleansed the streets, and the comforting sound it made as it pattered against his home? Breakfast became an unexpected episode of thankfulness as Gary bit into his toast. Not perfectly crisp as he preferred, but nourishing nonetheless. With each chew, he reflected on the farmers, the bakers, and the sheer miracle of having food on his plate. A chuckle escaped his lips, a sound so foreign to the walls of his kitchen that it seemed to bounce around in confusion. Gary's daily walk to the post office, usually a march of misery as he avoided cracks in the pavement and grumbled at passers-by, transformed into a promenade of appreciation. He took notice of the vibrant flowers breaking through the concrete, the laughter of children playing in the distance, and even the diversity of life teeming in his previously unnoticed neighborhood. At the post office, instead of grunting at the clerk, Gary offered a smile and a sincere thank you, leaving the poor fellow so astonished that he almost dropped the stamps. On his way back, Gary stopped to help an elderly lady cross the street, not out of obligation but out of a genuine desire to assist. Even the evening brought its own revelations as Gary sat down with his slightly overcooked dinner, feeling a surge of gratefulness for his ability to taste, to savor, and to enjoy his meal in peace. He raised a glass of water to the air, toasting to the Stoics of old who had bestowed upon him this new lens through which to view the world. As the stars emerged and Gary settled into bed, he found himself reflecting on the day with a sense of wonder. In choosing gratitude, he had invited a symphony of simple pleasures into his once dreary life. The scowl that had taken up residence on his face had softened, replaced by the traces of a contented smile. So, friends, as Gary drifted into a peaceful slumber, we too can take a page out of his Stoic transformation. By practicing gratitude for the wonders, both grand and minute, that embroider the fabric of our daily existence, we create a life filled with richness, appreciation, and yes, even laughter at the once imperceptible joys that surround us. Keep watching, my grateful comrades, as we delve further into the bountiful practices of Stoicism. And perhaps, like Gary, you too will find yourself cradling a heart brimming with thanks for the marvel that is life. Be a non-conformist, all right? Buckle up, because we're about to take a rollicking ride down history lane where Stoicism meets rebel without a cause. Picture this, a stage set for a high school play, the auditorium brimming with the whispers of anticipation. The curtain raises to reveal our cast of historical Stoics, donned in leather jackets, with an air of defiance that would make James Dean nod in approval. There's Zeno, the founding father of our rebellious band, leaning coolly against a pillar of the Stoa. He's the quiet one with a razor-sharp wit, his non-conformity not in loud words, but in the powerful silence of his presence. He's the one who started the whole Stoic gang, not by trying to fit in, but by sitting on his porch and sharing musings that didn't quite match the mainstream muses of the time. Enter Seneca, stage right, the advisor to the emperor, yeah, the top dog of the Roman Empire. But does he sit pretty in the palace, lining up with the other, yes, men? No way. Seneca's the brooding intellect, scribbling letters that question the excesses of the wealthy and the morality of the powerful. He's the guy who sees through the glam and glitz, calling out for a life of virtue over a life of indulgence. Cue the dramatic entrance of Epictetus, the former slave who became a philosopher. Talk about a plot twist. He's got this no-nonsense attitude, telling it like it is. It's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters, he quips, tossing his textbook aside. His brand of rebellion, challenging the very idea of control, urging his peers to break free from the chains of external approval and internal chaos. And who could forget the emperor himself, Marcus Aurelius? By day, he's ruling the Roman world, but by night, he's penning a diary that's all about stepping back from the throne and reflecting on the common humanity that he shares with the beggar on the street. His imperial crown doesn't weigh him down. Instead, he's the Stoic skater boy, kick-flipping over societal expectations and grinding down the rails of ego and power. As our play progresses, we see these historical heavyweights not just talking the non-conformist talk but walking it too. They're the original punk rockers in a symphony of philosophical dissent, questioning every convention with the cool composure of a cat in a sunbeam. They're not out to win popularity contests. They're here to flip the script on societal norms and live by their own rules. In the climactic scene, our Stoic rebels come together for a grand finale, a debate against the status quo, the societal norms that everyone else follows without a second thought. Zeno steps up, his words slicing through prejudice. Seneca waxes lyrical about the folly of fame. Epictetus throws down a challenge to cast off the shackles of desire. Marcus closes the show, his meditations a mic drop that echoes through the ages. So there you have it, a standing ovation, and the curtain falls on our Stoic high school drama, where rebellion isn't about chaos, but the courage to live authentically amidst a world draped in facades. These ancient icons may have worn togas instead of ripped jeans, but their spirit of non-conformity is as alive today as it was over 2 millennia ago. Take a leaf out of their book, my friends. Dare to stand out, to question, to live by principles that might not earn you the most likes on social media, but will earn you the ultimate badge of honor. A life lived true to yourself. Keep your eye on the channel, for we've got more Stoic stories in store, each seasoned with a dash of defiance and a whole lot of philosophical flair. Join in, be a non-conformist, and let's continue to march to the beat of our own drum, all the while laughing in the face of conformity. Laugh at life. Imagine if we could peek behind the curtain of time and catch the ancient Stoics in their unguarded moments, the outtakes and bloopers of the sages. It's quite a hilarious thought, isn't it? Let's have some fun and envision a day in the life of our venerable philosophers, complete with the slips, trips, and giggles that they might have encountered along the way. So there's Seneca, pacing eloquently as he dictates profound thoughts to his scribe, only to be interrupted by a sneeze that scatters his scrolls across the room. The scribe stifles a laugh, but Seneca, ever the sport, chuckles along, quipping, "Fortune challenges me with a tempest of the nose." Then we have Epictetus, who, while imparting wisdom on the nature of control, accidentally tips over a jug of wine. As the crimson river spreads across the floor, he grins and proclaims, "Behold, a lesson in impermanence." The students can't help but join in the laughter as they watch their teacher dance around the puddle gracefully, turning a mishap into a teachable moment. And how about Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the ancient world, in a moment of pure slapstick comedy, tripping over his regal toga during a stately procession? There's a brief silence before the emperor himself leads the crowd in hearty laughter, reminding all even emperors must watch their step. Pride goes before the fall, and sometimes literally. But wait, it gets better. Picture a serious Stoic forum. Everyone's deep in Stoic thought, and then Zeno lets out a yawn so wide that it becomes contagious. One by one, the philosophers succumb to the yawn wave, turning the gathering into a symphony of sleepy expressions. Zeno, with a twinkle in his eye, jests, "Even our philosophical stamina must bow before the might of a yawn." These imagined moments play out like a historical comedy sketch, breaking the Stoic stereotype with a generous dose of humanity. They remind us that even the wisest of souls had their clumsy days, and that life's foibles are universal. The Stoic response, to laugh, learn, and let go, is what transforms everyday blunders into episodes of joy and shared amusement. This Stoic principle extends to us too. When the milk spills, when we send an email prematurely, or when we wave at someone who wasn't actually waving at us, we can either grimace in embarrassment or grace the world with a smile at our own expense. After all, humor is a form of wisdom, recognizing the irony of our oh-so-serious human endeavors. So, as we traverse our own modern-day bloopers, let's channel the Stoic mirth that accompanies spilled wine, unruly sneezes, and ceremonial stumbles. Embrace life's comedy reel, for it's in laughing at life that we truly embody the light-hearted strength of Stoicism. Keep watching, my fellow philosophers of everyday life, as we continue to navigate the amusing waters of existence with a laugh and a Stoic nod. Stay amused, stay enlightened, and let's not forget to chuckle at the cosmic joke that is life. It's the most Stoic thing to do. And now, as we reach the end of our journey through the hallways of Stoic thought, we find ourselves standing in the warm afterglow of wisdom. We've laughed with Seneca's sneezing fits, danced around wine spills with Epictetus, and even watched an emperor trip over his own toga. All remind us that life, in its essence, is a mosaic of perfect imperfections. Stoicism, dear friends, isn't just a stiff upper lip in the face of adversity. It's the joyful embrace of each moment, the chuckle in the face of chaos, the knowing smile when the world says, "Gotcha." As we wrap up this Stoic guide to bringing more peace into our lives, let's carry with us the rich tapestry of practices we've explored. From practicing gratitude like our friend Grumpy Gary, who found sunshine in the rain, to embracing community and strengthening our collective spirit, each Stoic lesson is a step toward a more serene and fulfilling existence. Through the laughter and the gaffes, Stoicism teaches us that peace isn't found in the absence of trouble, but in the heart that finds harmony within it. The philosophy of Zeno, Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius is as much about understanding life's ebbs and flows as it is about surfing them with grace and good humor. So I invite you, our modern-day Stoics, to share your Stoic moments with us. Tell us about the times when you turned obstacles into opportunities, when you embraced the unexpected with a smile, or when you found tranquility in a simple breath. Share your experiences in the comments below or on social media using the hashtag #UnStoicMoments. Let's inspire each other with tales of everyday heroism and the quiet victories of the spirit. Remember, like a lighthouse stands unwavering amidst the stormy seas, so does a Stoic heart remain steadfast in the whirlwind of life, guiding not only oneself but also others toward the shores of peace. And so, as we bid each other farewell, do me one last favor. If you found a spark of serenity in our light-hearted stroll through Stoicism, click that like button, subscribe to the channel for more philosophical adventures, and ring the notification bell for your daily dose of tranquility. Together, let's continue to transform chaos into harmony, one Stoic moment at a time. Thank you for watching, thank you for laughing, and most of all, thank you for walking this path with me. Until we meet again, stay stoic, stay serene, and stay smiling.